I went in 1943. I was 17 years old. Mother had to sign for me to get in. I enlisted and went to boot camp in Norfolk. And at that time, the demand for personnel was pretty high because of the casualties we're having, loss of ships, trying to get troops over to England. And I was assigned to a family amphibious assault team. And we trained at right outside of Norfolk. There's a amphibious training beach. It's between what is now the bridge tunnel that comes from Maryland into Virginia, in that area. From there, I was assigned to the USS Thurston. It was an APA assault transport, amphibious assault transport. What do you want to just keep on talking?
It says here, that you, were you specifically trained to
Yeah,
go
I
to
was.
Normandy, or?
No, it was an amphibious. Normandy wasn't in. If it was in their mind, it hadn't gotten to the troops. You know, I mean, we weren't aware. Sometime along the line, I know we were going to go into Europe, but at that particular time, we were going into Africa. And the first trip we took with troops was into Oran, Africa. And that was our first troops into Africa, not the first ones, but the first group. And eventually, while we were in Africa, the Germans had pretty well controlled the Mediterranean at that time. And they had what they called a Stuka dive bomber, and they bombed and mined the harbors pretty much. We lost, I don't know, 2 or 3 minesweepers and a couple destroyers there. We didn't get hit. We left Africa and dropped our troops off there, landed our troops there. Landings there weren't as difficult as we would imagine, could even have a concept of what was going to happen in D-Day. And then we went in to Scotland, picked up troops, took them down into Sicily, down to Salerno, and landed Anzio Beach. We took troops in there. I was a coxswain on an LCVP, which was the Higgins boat, which is LCVP means landing craft vehicle personnel. It would haul 30 troops or 1 Jeep and maybe 3 or 4 troops. We went back into, I may have the sequence wrong. We were shuttling between bringing Irish troops in and bringing into Italy. We went back into New York, port of embarkation. Refitted. By that I mean we put on more guns and fixed up the troops' quarters a little bit. Got our supplies, got ammunition, and loaded up and went into Scotland. Then we, I think that was in the winter of '44. I think I got in there. It's hard to remember dates, but we trained landings in England, all along the beaches in England. We were in Land's End, we were in Southampton, we were in Portsmouth and Plymouth, and we landed. Used to land, practice landing on a beach called the Slapton Beach. In other words, we take a load of troops in, put them on a landing craft, take them ashore, and made it as real as we could make it, as it would be for Operation Overlord, which is the invasion of Europe. By that time, we knew we were on an invasion of Europe. England was loaded with American troops. They were everywhere, troops and sailors. There were a lot of ships there. To jump ahead to the 1st of June, the landing at Omaha at the invasion of Europe was called Overlord. The naval fleet and the British and naval, and I think there were some Polish ships. Our operation was called Operation Neptune. The ship I was on was designated to Operation 01, which was Omaha Beach, first wave. We loaded troops, being as we were a transport, we hold about 1,300 troops. We loaded troops early part of June, I don't know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th of June, something like 3rd, I guess. Because of the size that they were supposed to go before the 6th of June, but we had a bad storm in the channel. They postponed it. But we had troops on board. We left port on the 4th for Normandy, but we weren't called back. We were just incognito for a day till the 5th of June. And we left for our anchorage, which would have been 8 miles off the beach of Normandy. The reason we were out there 8 miles is the Germans didn't know we were there yet, I don't think. But they pretty much had an idea we were coming, I think. But the Germans had a gun that would reach 5 or 6 miles, very accurate, 88 millimeter. And so the transports and the big ships that were unloading troops, we anchored about 8 to 10 miles off the beach. And on the morning of the 6th of June, troops were gotten ready. I say gotten ready, we're told to be ready to board the landing craft. They got them out at 1 o'clock. We had our boats, of course we were out all night, but we put our boats in the water, which was the LCVPs and the LCTs and the LCMs in the water, and then we started loading troops down rope cargo nets off the side from off the ship onto the LCVPs. I'll call them Higgins boats, same things. And it was really rough from the storm before. The seas were running 5, 6 feet, and an LCVP isn't very big, and we were getting a lot of chop, lifting, rising. We get up alongside the transport. We would go up and down beside the transport, 5, 6, 7 feet. These guys are coming down the landing nets. They'd either catch it coming up or they'd miss it and drop in and going down. And some of them fell between the nets and the landing craft and were crushed, or either drowned or had body parts broken, legs, arms. We were pretty lucky. We loaded 30 troops, 30 or 32 troops, and then after you loaded, you went out into would circle until all the LCVPs the Higgins boats were loaded. We'd circle until the command officer on board the ship would give it a go, rocket, and then we all headed for the beach.